Live from the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania, it's the Bill and Corey Show. I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
Hey, welcome back. This, I think, is our 45th live episode. And next week, hopefully, will be our 1 year anniversary.
Pretty soon we'll be ready for syndication.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm still waiting. I still haven't gotten that call from Netflix.
Okay.
So we got some. So you're going to learn a little, laugh a little today. So we're going to start out. First one.
Don't promise.
All I got on teleprompter screen is it's Corey's question, and we got a graphic if he wants to put it up.
I want to put it up eventually. Not now. Not now.
Okay.
All right. So a customer wanted one of our UHP
Semiconductor
grade regulators with the CGA welded on, and you want to weld the parts together or VCR connections because it keeps the semiconductor grade good. But we don't recommend welding the CGA fitting on for a few reasons. Can you put it the graphic?
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of.
That's okay. We'll work with that. As you can see, because it's good at the bottom because it shows the connection.
Yeah.
So in this one, this is the same regulator without it. But the problem is, what happens if you want to disconnect the regulator from the cylinder? How are you going to do it with it still welded on? You got to take the whole thing off, and then your piping that is leaving the regulator.
Oh, they can't see it. They're looking at the graphic.
I know, but I'm talking with my hands. It doesn't matter. So the pipe leading away, how do you disconnect it? So you want to have a stationary panel, and so the connection instead to the cylinder can move because it's a nice tube that is coiled.
Yeah, it's
and
coiled.
so you keep your good roundness for the semiconductor grade, the good radiuses on the tubing for your semiconductor grade gases, and you don't kink a line or anything like that. It's just a safer way to disconnect and reconnect to the thing rather than having to worry about your downstream tubing.
Yeah, and the outlet, you want to cut the, no, let's just show this again.
Right.
No,
Cut away
just
from
the
the
bag
graphic.
there. Yeah, you want to get back to camera? Yeah, and the outlet of the 9001 series panel, that's the one that was shown, is a 1/4 inch VCR. Mm-hmm. So you can hook up your electro-polished tubing to that and maintain purity. What he's talking about is, yeah, the regulator is double bagged for freshness. That's just how semiconductor grade, we used to call them ultraline regulators. Yeah, Corey was talking about, when you couldn't see it, is that you've got this regulator, I don't even bother showing you, and the outlet.
Can you see it?
Yeah, it's
We brought a bag.
and this looks like a bag. There is something inside. It's not chips. But if you're disconnecting this from the cylinder and you have stainless steel tubing on there, you got to. The regulator's got to go somewhere.
Flop on the ground.
Yeah, and then if you put a hose on it, you just ruin your semiconductor purity. So.
But much like a bag of chips, mostly air.
Yeah, it is fresh though. So this is our this is the next thing. Somebody want to know what's the difference between an 8058 gas detector and 8068?
I know.
What's that?
10.
10. You're right. That's part of the answer. Now they're both black. so
don't get them mixed up.
Okay.
It's slimming.
It's slimming. Yes, the 8050. Yeah, this is kind of nice. So this is the 8058 gas detector, and this is the 8068 gas detector. And the 8058, this one, is this is a hazardous gas detector. It's really to detect. You would use this if you went into a room when you think there might be a leak, and it'll tell you, I think maybe phosphine leaked in the room.
Mm-hmm. That's no good.
That's not good. It's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So you would use this, and it would tell you if it sees phosphine at a dangerous level. And you can change gases on it.
And hopefully you're wearing your PPE when you're doing that.
Yes. Yes. Now this guy, 8068, this will be it's available. You can find it on the online store, store.mathesongas.com. And you can order it. It's got nice pictures on there, and it's got a description of it. This is a leak detector for like piping and cylinders, and it's really intended for more inert gases. Really, it's used a lot for helium. When you're leak checking something with helium, it could be argon.
It's better than breathing it in and seeing if your voice changes.
Right. Yeah, that's not a good way to find it. And
not
that's
a good
to
way.
find leaks in the piping, not in the room.
Oh, okay.
It's carbon dioxide, your refrigerant. So you got a refrigerant system. You can use this, and you can select the gases. So it is kind of neat. Now, you do not want to bring these things home for the kids because they could kind of use it as a little sword thing.
Sword fights.
And yeah, how long do you think this
Play
will last?
Star Wars.
Corey's got two
He's
kids
the Sith.
two boys
I'm the Jedi.
Oh, thanks. How long do you think this will last with your kids at home?
Probably not very long.
Yeah, probably not very long.
If they could turn it on and hear it beep, too.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. Oh, we have to hold this down a little bit. Yeah, it
know.
beeps, and then if you... Yeah, does that just starting up? It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's got a little display on it. And then, it's kind of boring because it goes through a warm-up. So
There you go, that's okay.
They would be bored by that one, maybe. Now, the 8068 is kind of interesting, kind of not. Sometimes we talk about
Way to sell it, Bill.
yeah. No, but I mean the part numbering system. We always kind of
There is no system for part numbering
there is no
here.
part numbering system. So
Doesn't make sense. I have no part of it. I'll wash my hands.
Actually, I probably want to turn that off.
That's right.
Just hold it down for 3 seconds. Now, so the 8068 is just coming out now. The previous version it makes sense, 8067. And then that was in 2017, we introduced the 8067. In 2002 was the 8066, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you think the one before the 86 would be 8065. No, that was the 8067. was in 1993. And then 1990 is the 8065. So it went 8065, 8067, 8066, 8067.
Do you guys decide part numbers by like the roulette wheel? Like just like spin it and
it could be.
See what happens?
Now I have a special treat. Oh good, he did take the tape off this. We actually have an 8065.
A leak hunter.
Yeah, we used to call them leak hunters, and be like, that's kind of silly.
I kept looking for the vegetable.
Yeah, so this is kind of cool, and this would last 20 minutes through the boys.
Wow. Well, no,
It
that
looks
would
like
be
a little ray gun.
No, a blaster. It's called a blaster.
A blaster, okay.
A blaster.
Ray gun when I was growing up, now they're blasters. So yeah, this is really cool, and it still works. So this thing's old, and we use it around the shop. We have leak detectors that we have permanent, benchtop stuff. And if we need to check something like a rotor meter assembly for leaks.
I don't understand why they went away with from that design. That just tells you exactly what you're supposed to do with it. You point and
Yeah, it's I think it's kind of heavy. I think you have to like work out or something before you use this thing. But it is kind of cool looking.
For some of us,
this is retro.
It is.
You could see something like this back in the. You could probably on Star Trek maybe.
Yeah.
One of those kind of guns.
They probably used it because Star Trek was famous for using regular objects as.
Yeah, they cut it. We'll have to check on that one.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's it. You can buy the 8058 and 8068 in the online store.
I'm gonna do the 2 gas list.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, why don't you pop up the gas list? I'll show you the different gases that you detect.
Squint really hard on the left.
I really should have labeled it there. On the left is the 8058. Yeah, it's got ammonia, it's got isobutane, it's got
hydrogen chloride.
Yeah, vinyl something doesn't sound good. Xylene isn't good.
Silane.
On the right, yeah, on the right's 8068. It's more ammonia's not good.
And then some of those I think are made up though.
It could be. No. Okay, you can take the list down. Okay. Next question is. It's on Switchover System, and customer says when connecting a cylinder to the left side of the switchover system, the right side is also pressurized, and this is a common occurrence. And we've got a video. You want to pop up the video and to kind of explain this? Pop-up videos.
Switchover bleed is a normal occurrence. The switchover system is safe, and gas will not bleed from the full cylinders on one side into the empty cylinders on the other side. Both flex hoses in this switchover and almost all switchover systems have CGA connections with integral check valves, which will prevent backflow into the cylinders. Now, it is possible to see pressure from one side cross over to the other side, so let me try to explain. The switchover regulator is actually two pressure regulators in a single body. The back regulator is preset and is for the gas source on the left side. The arrowed knob is the pressure adjustment for the front pressure regulator. The front regulator is for the gas source on the right side. The back regulator for most switchover systems is set for about 200 psi, and the front regulator swings from about 175 to about 225 psi depending upon the position of the arrowed knob. Gas can flow both ways through the regulators until the pressure rises up to the set point. Here's what happens when the cylinder is opened. The gas pressure on the other side will increase until it reaches the switchover pressure setting. A reminder on how a pressure regulator works. When the spring is compressed, the spring displaces the diaphragm, which pushes on the valve poppet, causing it to move away from the valve seat. The orifice becomes larger in order to provide the pressure and flow required. Increasing gas pressure under the diaphragm will push up on the diaphragm, allowing the valve poppet to close against the valve seat.
Good, great. Hopefully that explained to you. And you got the sound, because just looking at it probably didn't make much sense for at least the ending part. Yeah, the last question's kind of confusing, and sometimes we get these confusing questions that we have to kind of dissect and try to figure out what they're going to say.
It's almost like an investigative journalist, I feel like.
It's almost like that. So yeah. We could be on 2020.
2020.
They still have 2020?
Yes.
Okay, good. Or 60 Minutes. I know they have that.
And they have 60 Minutes as well.
Okay. This is, I reread the emails and rewatched the YouTube video. Well, that's good they watched the YouTube video. The relief port is, this is where it gets, the relief port is the bonnet vent. There is an 1/8" port that relieves gas to atmosphere should the first stage diaphragm fail. The relief port should not be plugged. There is an optional 1/4 by 1/8" adapter that can be purchased. Is there a burst disc or spring to activate the bonnet relief, or is just a diaphragm seal that triggers the gas relief?
That's a good question.
Yes. Please confirm 525 psi is the gas pressure that would vent through the bonnet vent port. Oh boy, there's a lot of, just pretend you didn't hear that stuff. All that stuff, there's a lot of bad information in that question.
Well,
so
no, the person's confused and they're asking a question, and it's good that they did that.
Yeah, and they got kind of confused, and this one is really for Cordy Deal. But the real the question that we had to investigate and figure out is that the customer is under the impression that an interstage relief valve vents through the bonnet vent port.
So the interstage relief valve is down here. The bonnet vent port.
No, it's not there now, but...
No, I'm sorry, that's the port. The interstage relief valve port is down here.
Yeah, so we didn't install something.
Yeah, we didn't install something. You don't have to install something. You can either have a plug in it or install a relief device on it. Yeah. But it can never just be open. Now here, if you can see the grayed out... Yeah, you can see it pretty good in there.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. The grayed out area, that's the bonnet vent port. Those are the 1/8" ports. What happens is sometimes the seal on the disc. What can I think?
Diaphragm.
Diaphragm. Oh my goodness. The seal on the diaphragm will get some kind of crud or possibly some kind of material.
A little leak.
A little leak.
It can leak.
And it'll leak through a little bit, and it'll go out the bonnet vent port. Those should never be plugged, as well. But you can pipe them away if it's a hazardous gas. We recommend obviously piping them away to a safe location.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's not a common occurrence.
Yeah.
But you have to protect the bonnet. You want to zoom in again?
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, the bonnet is not. Yeah,
this is a 2-stage regulator, not because it has 2 gauges, because it has the first stage is here, and then the second stage is here, and there's so there's 2 bonnet vent ports. Many of our regulators, we put a little sticker over it. I will try to peel it off, but it's too hard to peel off. We put a sticker over there. That's so you don't get bugs or rain in there or something like that could kind of rust things up.
Not dirt. Dirt is not the first thing you went to.
No, it's not going to happen.
Bugs and rain.
Well, if you're have to worry about getting dirt in there.
Okay, I
You
guess
shouldn't
so.
be playing with
I guess
regulators.
This is outside
Yeah,
the
don't
rain.
lay the regulators on the ground.
Don't lay them on the ground. Okay, good.
Yeah, we got to put that.
I was thinking like dust and debris that the air.
Yeah,
I wasn't
yeah,
thinking that they were like putting it in a sandbox.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. Another thing, don't bring these home for the kids to play with. So, yeah, he thought that there was an interstage relief valve internal to this regulator and then to vent it into the bonnet. No, we'd install it in the I port, interstage port. Now, Corey, if someone wanted to order a regulator with interstage relief valve, how would they do that?
They would get a modified regulator, our -S regulators.
And where do you get those?
At store.mathesongas.com.
Yes, you can, or you can just do a regular order, and then you'd say, "Hey, I want."
Or you can call our friends in customer service,
Yes.
and they can help you through it as well.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's all the questions we have for this week. Now, next week, I want to say, hopefully, is our year anniversary show. I'm supposed to be. I have jury duty next Wednesday.
So
It's a
jealous.
one-day, one trial thing, so I'm hoping I don't get picked. If I get picked for some jury, then
Then you got the power.
I don't know. I don't know if I can tell the judge, "Hey, judge, I really got to do a live stream tomorrow."
You can be. You
inform the
can tell
world.
them you're a local celebrity, YouTube personality,
Yeah,
influencer.
yeah,
They love it when you tell them you're an influencer.
That'll go over real well. Probably throw me in jail.
Obstruction of justice.
We were thinking a couple people to get in the substitute, so he'd still be the Bill and Corey show. We get Bill Nye, the science guy.
Ooh. Bill Shatner.
Yeah, we get Bill Shatner, and then, or if you want to go,
He might actually do it.
you want to go comedian, you can get Bill Burr or Bill Engvall. So
Comedian Bill Engvall's that's loosely.
yeah,
a little
whatever.
loosely
He's got a niche.
He does have a niche
crowd. So yeah, so that's all we have for next for this week. Please tune again in next week for a great episode of the Bill and Corey Show.
Set your VCRs.